What's good, my Magic Knights? It is your boy, Deadman the Limitless, back with another Black Clover mobile video. Hope everybody has been doing well today. Hope you guys enjoyed that last video where I broke down Asta again, kind of revisited. I already kind of explained what this little series was about here, so I'm not going to take too long on explaining what's going on. We're going to be breaking down YUNO, and honestly, we're just going to go ahead and hop right into it. Also, the reason why it took me so long to go from the Asta video to the YUNO video is because after I dropped the Asta video, they actually dropped a lot of information on Black Clover Mobile, and I've been covering that information instead. Definitely hop on the channel. Definitely go check all that stuff out. I've been doing a lot of coverage here these past few days. But they did happen to show us all of like the characters like typings, I guess you could say. And another thing that I want to do preface is, I'm not too certain how the rarity system is going to work, because it looks like a lot of characters that you would assume are going to be SSRs. It looks like they start out as rares and go up to SSRs. It'd be kind of weird if every character started out as a rare. I'm just not too sure. Or they could just be doing that to reveal the base or hide the base rarity of a unit, you know. So I'm just gonna still go with my assumptions for what the starting rarity could be, but just so we know, it could all be wrong on the rarity at the very least. But let's go ahead and hop right into it. Alright, so today we're talking about YUNO, and for his stats, I have his HP at 5200, so not quite as high as Asta's. Pretty much I made Asta's unit, and then I tried to make everybody else comparatively to Asta, because I mean that's how it works. Everybody, literally the show is centered around Asta. He's the main character, one, and like quite literally everything that they do later on in the story, spoiler alert, but not really, because he's the main character and he has the one ability that can negate all abilities, but all plans tend to revolve around Asta. So they're probably going to stick to that, kind of make Asta, they're going to make Asta feel very solid as a unit, or I feel like the way that you design characters for this game specifically is build Asta, make him a very solid unit that also does not break your entire fucking game. Then you kind of build everybody else off of him, so that they can, not to say that everybody in the series is supporting Asta, like people can definitely fight on their own, but at least in the sense of making characters. So for HP, we have 52,000 HP, which is less than Asta. Now, if you remember when they were younger and they were at the orphanage, YUNO and Asta, well, Asta would always try to challenge YUNO. YUNO would literally always use his magic and just like easily defeat Asta. And then, you know, I'm pretty sure there was like one day this man Asta was trying to spar with this man YUNO, and he was like, I'll get you. And like he literally didn't really hurt this man YUNO. He tired himself out from trying to like spar with this man all day, but he did land a hit on YUNO, and YUNO was like, damn, like this man never gave up, and that shit's really a problem for other people, like basically. Then for his MP, of course, we have his MP at like 4,500. Now, I remember I made Asta's attack 6,000 and his mana 0. The only reason why I'm making YUNO's mana 4,500 is because he still does have an attack stat. He's not just like somebody who can't attack physically at all. That's just not how that works. But I do, you'll see later on in the kit that all of his skills are pretty much based off of mana, not really based off of his attack stat. Then his defense is 3,000. I feel like, like I said, these are just kind of not even hard stated numbers that I'm putting down here. More so they're just kind of like dummy numbers so that I can kind of give you an idea of how their stats will look. So basically, I feel like he would have less health and defensive capabilities than Asta, but I feel like he can hit just as hard as Asta, just not based off of physical attack, but more so off of magical attack. And you can see on his little character icon that YUNO actually is a striker character. There's like 5 different types. There's guardians, there's attack units, there's debuffer units, there's support units, and then there's healing units. Healing units typing is green, support units typing is blue, attack units typing is like red, debuff units typing are like purple, and I'm also very curious to see how they handle debuff units, because it's just odd that a type would be dedicated to debuffing, or maybe that's not their type, because their types don't look necessarily the same as the symbols on their unit arts. And then yellow is the tank, right? But let's go ahead and hop into his little characteristics here. So, for YUNO's characteristics, I believe that his base rarity would be like SR. Now, the reason why I thought that his base rarity would be SR is Asta I thought would be rare because we've seen an art with Asta that says rare on it. We've also seen an art with Asta that says SR on it. But those two arts are different, which kind of feeds into my speculation that we will not get a new costume every single time we boost the character up to the next rank, but more so it'll be we get a new pose for that character. We can still buy extra costumes, but it's just the fact that characters in Black Clover typically do not change their wardrobe all too much. They're typically wearing the same thing. The only time they change their clothes is when like a big time jump happens and they've been training, you know, they just switch their drip up. They train their mind, body, and soul. Why not train your drip too, right? But this man, YUNO, his art that said SR is literally the same as the rare art they showed for him, the SR art they showed for him, and then this art right here, the silhouette art, all the same. So that leads me to believe that maybe they just put rare on all the units, or not all the units, but most of the units at first, just to kind of hide their rarities. And all the units that were obviously going to be SSRs, they showed them as SSRs, because Vonjus, you can see SSR, Mars, you can see SSR, Yami, they did not show for certain, and I think the reason for that is that instead of making Yami an SSR, which would be very hype, yes, I can see them possibly making Yami an SR, since he's such a beloved character, and he could just be in everybody's like character box for free, or he might be a pre-login registration, whatever, like type of reward or something like that. I feel like I saw that somewhere. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but I'm gonna have to go back and check that out. But for his base rarity, SR. His race is human, obviously. I guess for this, I really could have put like human/elf. Well, I mean, it's not in his blood. Elf blood does not run through his veins. He just has the soul of an elf in his body. So I guess it doesn't really count. So I guess he still is human, you know, fully. His affiliation is the Golden Dawn, of course. He is with the Clover Kingdom, and then his rank is Junior Magic Knight. Remember last time in Asa's video, I was talking about how the Knight ranking could give you extra buffs, because there's a lot of times where Knights who are what's the word I'm looking for? They're in over their head. Yes, there we go. Magic Knights that are in over their head, as long as they have like the right team of people with them, the right group of people, and somebody is not giving up, everybody kind of like feeds off that energy, and they just keep going until the enemy is beat. So I feel like the ranks of the Magic Knights themselves will actually play a very huge role. And then using this beautiful wiki here, made by our community, they know who they are. They know the community knows the community. But we're gonna go ahead and get into YUNO's skills right here. Alright guys, so we're here in the video for YUNO's attack animations. I'm going to go ahead and let the first skill play, and I'm just going to break the stuff down as I go along. So, for skill 1 here, that the first skills always go by really fast because they're their basic skills, but for skill 1, now I feel like skill 1 basically for a lot of characters will have sometimes extra effects to them, that like extra little gimmicks. Like I'm pretty sure for Asas I said that he shaves a little bit of like mana off every time he hits the enemy. But basically for YUNO's, I don't think there's going to be any extra effect to it. I think it's just going to be not high damage, but high damage for a basic attack that you can like spam and repeat, right? So I have deals damage equal to 90% of MP to a single enemy. Very clear cut, dry, very self-explanatory. You're going to see here that YUNO doesn't really have too much extra effects on him the way that I built him. More so, it's just all like extra, or not debuffs at all. And honestly, that kind of checks out because we see here that YUNO is an attack type of unit, so it does kind of like it kind of adds to the validity of it, right? But for his second skill, let's go ahead and play that. Now that move right there was a crescent wind sickle or something like that. This right here, crescent wind blade, this move right here is like wind blade barrage or something like that. Now this move, I said, deals shred damage to all enemies equal to 180% of MP. Now, I know what you're thinking. What is shred damage? I basically went over to the Grand Cross wiki, and no, they have not confirmed any debuffs. The only debuffs that we saw confirmed were attack up and that weird defense, attack down, and then there was like a weird defense, kind of like, it was like a shield with like a little star in the middle of it on the enemy HUD in the little gameplay trailer they showed us. But shred damage is additional damage equal to 90% of damage at the end of every turn. So shred damage is basically bleed. And my philosophy with this is, yes, I mean, YUNO's never just hit anybody with the wind blades and they just started bleeding out. But bro, think about this. This is a gacha game. They're gonna add extra effects to whatever it looks like it works on, right? So all these wind blades stabbing at everybody at the same time, bro, like that's a lot. So I can see bleed happening off that. Like shred damage is, you know, the perfect like little descriptor for it. Let's go ahead and play the animation. I don't know why I paused the animation before I talked about it, but I do like that skill quite a bit. I feel like they're gonna do it in a way, or I don't even think that the moves will upgrade in battle. I think you upgrade your character outside of battle, and then say for instance, so say like you have this skill right here. This is not gonna be a card-based system where you're merging cards. We literally saw that it's not. Instead, I feel like you're gonna upgrade your character outside of battle, and then you're gonna literally upgrade your skills, and your skills will just be like that level permanently. Like whenever you use them, they're just on that level, right? So that's it for the shred card. Let's go ahead and move over to skill 3. All right, we keep pausing on these like choppy frames. That's just because this trailer is very quick trailers. Literally every single animation is back to back to back to back to back. For the third skill, I said that it inflicts overflow damage equal to 150% of MP on all enemies. Now notice every single one of these attacks hit all enemies. Let's do this. Now, this move is called Towering Tornado. That move does not necessarily have to hit every single enemy. More so, because he hit Alec with that, which is like the sand guy from his guild. I was gonna say knighthood, but basically that move could be a single target. But it's so. I mean, let's take another look at it. In comparison to YUNO, like, it's not even the fact that it's a tornado. Just look at how it kind of like look at how wide it starts out and then it kind of like comes back in progressionally. Or nah, it doesn't even kind of like come back in and tame itself. Like the extra damage on the end right there, right? Now, what is the overflow damage? Overflow damage is 0.7% additional damage for every percent of remaining MP on self. So basically, overflow damage is flood damage from Grand Cross, but instead of it being scaled off of HP, it is scaled off of MP. And I feel like the fighting system will be similar to Grand Cross, at least with the like substats and the debuffs and stuff like that. But with mana being an extra thing into the system, I feel like it's really going to give us a lot more possibilities to move in a lot of different directions. Now let's go over to YUNO's ultimate. Okay guys, so now we have YUNO's ultimate right here, and basically his ultimate, I said, inflicts damage equal to 600% of MP on all enemies. Now, YUNO's MP base stat that I have is 4,500, but you don't really have to pay too much attention to that. More so, I want you to pay attention to the fact that his MP is his highest stat out of all his stats. So 600% of his MP to all enemies, that's ridiculous. Because, like, I was going to add the shred damage to it, but I was just like, honestly, this can just be super high damage. Just literally, like, the two moves that I assume are AoE together, mixed with, you know, a little extra something else, right? But now let's go back and kind of go to his character page and just kind of put everything side beside him so we can look at the full kit together. And I'm going to go over his passives. All right, guys. So, basically, for YUNO's passive skills, the first one, I'm calling it Blessed by Mana, because literally that's like the whole, they were saying that so much about YUNO in the series that it was like a meme. It was either Blessed by Mana or Loved by Mana. Obviously, it was foreshadowing for the elf spirit inside of his body, but even still, Blessed by Mana, passive one, increases refill rate of MP gauge by 35%. So like, YUNO just has really fast MP, but I don't know 100% how that's going to work now, because it seems like they have action points and that the gauge under their health is not MP, but instead it's stamina, which kind of makes sense, because if they had an MP system, Asta would have no MP, and that would make him either lack very much so in battle or go off in battle, because he would have no mana at all, and they could just expend all those extra stats directly to his defense and his attack, like I did when I built his card. It's weird though, because every single like screenshot that we've seen for Asta, he has an MP stat. So MP has to play some role or something like that, or maybe it's just magical attack, and I'm assuming it's MP. But if there is an MP system, increases the refill rate of MP by 35%. And then the second passive is I won't lose, because he always talks about how he can't lose to Asta. Or if he's fighting anybody else, he's just like, I can't lose to you, I still have to beat him. So I won't lose. Deals an extra 15% damage to enemies with higher HP than the hero. So and that could, no, that's going to be based off of current HP. I was thinking it could be based off of max HP, but that's a little busted. I mean, you would have to go into a fight where they have more HP than you, which I mean is highly possible. This could be good for later on down the road. I just feel like though, if you build out your characters like a lot in the beginning of the game, they're gonna have higher stats than all the enemies that you face. You're just gonna be easy clapping until you get to like boss fights. But even still, you could have more HP than the bosses, right? Because I mean, story mode bosses aren't really shit. It's when you get to the special event bosses that they really mean something. But that's it for YUNO's entire kit. I really hope you guys enjoy these videos, because they do take a little bit of time. It just, you know, it's kind of hard to make cards for units when Vic Gaming gives us piece by piece by piece by piece every single time. But I mean, I'm still here making the content for you, trying to get into the closed beta test. Fingers crossed. We got 4 days until we know who's really in the beta test, so you guys stay tuned for that. You guys stay hyped. If you like these videos, you can go down below and merely on a thrash that like button. You can also go down and hit that subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can unleash your YUNO sauce. I had to switch it to YUNO just because this is a YUNO video. And yeah, that's gonna be it for your boy DEADMANVINCE. Hope you guys did enjoy. You guys stay powerful. You guys surpass your limits. Peace.